how do you change a tire? That sounds technical. So there we were. The other day on the way to Grandma's house, the car made a funny noise. Something like bang, boom, boom. And immediately a red light came on the dashboard. Apparently, it was coming from the tire. I must admit I was surprised. So was Mom. What is the first thing you should do if you get a puncture?
If your mom or dad is driving, the most urgent thing is to turn on their warning lights. Then pull over safely to the side of the road, carriageway permitting.
And once they are off the road, what do they need to change their tire?
So, contrary to what one might think, it's pretty simple. Here is what we need. First of all, a yellow jacket and safety triangle to signal one's presence. Safety gloves to protect the hands. A spare wheel that matches with the vehicle. This is normally found in or near the boot. A spanner for the nuts, contained in the vehicle's toolkit. A jack to lift the car. And finally, if your mom or dad's wheel is fitted with anti-theft nuts, they'll need a special socket to unscrew them.
So where do we start?
So, step 1. First, by signaling to other drivers with the safety triangle and yellow jacket. Then, step 2. Remove the punctured wheel. Once you've put on the gloves, remove the hubcap, if there is one, to access the rim. Then slightly loosen the nut anti-clockwise with your spanner. Take your jack and put it in the right place. Normally, this is indicated by an arrow or notch on the underside of the car. Once you've done that, it's amazing! Your car will start to lift as if by magic. Stop when the tire is far enough off the ground to replace it with an inflated tire. Then, unscrew the nuts from the damaged wheel and remove it. Lay it flat next to you. Step 3. Installing the spare wheel. Your dad or mum can now fit the spare wheel, starting by positioning it on the bolts. Then start tightening the nuts. Tips from Ervik. Tighten one nut at the top, left or right, and the opposite nut at the bottom. Once you've tightened them all, check that there is no play between the wheel and the axis of rotation. Finally, slowly lower the car with the jack. Remove the jack and check that all your nuts are firmly in place. Caution: if you don't have a spare tire, we advise you to call your garage or a tow truck directly. If neither of these solutions is possible, use your puncture-proof kit as a last resort. Then go immediately to the nearest garage to see if your tire can be repaired or if it needs to be replaced.
And to finish with our spare tire, can we get back on the road?
No! Well, yes, but only to get to the nearest garage. And most importantly, for your own safety and that of your passengers, never go over 80 kilometers an hour. Your spare tire does not have the same grip qualities as a conventional tire. Remember also to observe the restrictions for use described in the car's manual. So, there you have it. But this is an adult job. Ask your mum or dad to do this step by step. And don't panic, Ervik. Punctures are still fairly rare. On average, a European motorist gets one every 7 years.
So, if I understand correctly, to change a wheel, my dad or mom has to first park somewhere safe. Signal his or her position. Replace the wheel following all the steps one by one. Drive to the nearest garage at no more than 80 km per hour.
For more information on caring for your tires in all seasons, visit us on kleber-tires.com or on our social networks.
Happy driving and see you soon!